Morning guys, we've now got a Tycan 4S in a really nice sort of metallic black. The paintwork is actually in a really good condition, and when we quoted on this last week, because we've got this in as a cancellation, we actually said to the customer the paint is in really good condition. It doesn't need a great deal of work. To a point you could just ceramic this if you wanted, because it is dark, but there is a few little things on it I wanted to touch up. Now the client has basically allowed us to spend just a day on it so far to prep it, so we're going to do a revival. It's not an enhancement, it's not a correction, but it's going to get it to sort of a correction level because of what it needs or what it doesn't need. Now the things I will point out on this is when we viewed it outside with the client this morning in the sun, you can actually see that there is general wash marks. They're not swirls, but they're the beginning of swirls, so they're very light, but they're kind of quite consistent light scratches with gaps between them, so there's quite a big space between them, where swirl is obviously a lot of marks in a small area. The thing is, as a company, I generally wouldn't just coat this car. It's not what I'm prepared to do. If you're going to spend quite a lot of money on a good ceramic coating, I don't want to just put it on the car if there is any sort of defects in it. I like to spend at least a day just to manage some of those expectations, and my expectations probably more than the customers a lot of the time. Now the thing that we have noticed today is there is a bird lime here, and there's also quite a lot of markings on the bottom there where someone has tried to take that bird lime out, and it's probably not the client, it's probably at the Porsche dealership, because when they've washed it they've noticed it. But this has eaten into the paint already, so that's going to need machine work, possibly sanding. I'm hoping not, but it's one of those things. But this is an area that obviously needs working on, and we're going to have to do that before we do the coating, because if not, that will always be in the paint. Now you can hide things with ceramics. They do help to fill a little bit, and a lot of companies, depending what you want to spend as a budget, if you don't want to pay a great deal or you're trying to keep it to a lower cost, they may just offer to do that and you won't necessarily notice. The thing that we have noticed as well though is the front end is actually covered in bugs and basically insect stains, and that's because the cars had no protection. So what's happened is they've hit them on the motorway. Porsche have got a very flat end on them, and this is a big car being a Tycan S, but the problem is they're baked in with the heat from the car, and obviously the sun baking on it all day, and they also need machine work because they're not going to come out with just a wipe over. And again, if we were to just ceramic those, the truth is they would be in the paint. So this client has agreed with us to let us have the car for a day for the actual protection, a day for the enhancement, basically to do the machine work, and then we're going to spend the next 2 days doing a ceramic pro coating correctly, wheels off, calipers sealed, inside the door shuts, and all the other areas to be worked on. So I'm going to try and show you those kind of insect stains and that mark on there, just so you can see what is in there. And this is to highlight obviously to this client, but also to anybody watching the videos, what we do at Inspired. We're not here to do kind of budget coatings or quick fixes. I do turn work down sometimes. I'll say to the lads we're not going to do that job, and I'll say to the client we don't want to do it unless we can do it this way, purely because you're only as good as your last job, and we have a standard that I want to achieve, and I need to achieve that with these jobs. I really do. So I'm going to show you the sort of little things on there, and obviously you guys and the client of whose car this is, when it's done, can actually see what we've actually fixed, what we've found, and how much of an improvement we've done. And that's going to stay there for the length of that ceramic, and that's where his money becomes worth it, and it's obviously cost effective because of that. So I'm going to show you those now. So those basically showed you the light marks we found, with 2 little scratches on the back door which are white, possibly need wet sanding again, but fingers crossed we don't. And then little things on the mirrors, just to show you sort of the insect stains. And then the very last video you just saw there was the video under higher bright light, which actually shows what the sunlight does outside. And as you can see, there's very slight sort of swirls and hazing across the car, or what we call marring, and that's what we're going to be getting out before we apply the ceramic, because in the sun that is what you will see, and that's what we want to obviously get rid of. Morning guys, so it's Friday morning. I'm going to jump on this top coat as soon as I can because the temperature's quite cool in here today right now, and I know it's going to get the hottest day of the year apparently, and like I said on the previous part of the video, I don't want to be absolutely drenched in sweat by having the ceramic heaters on when the customer comes to pick the car up, because it's not really the best look and I probably won't have the best smell. So what we're going to do this morning is literally we're going to get straight on with the top coat, wheel and caliper and glass, get the inside of the shuts and a few of the little bits finished off, get the ovens on, get this baked, and then the client can come and pick the car up for sort of 3 o'clock, and hopefully I can get those coatings on before the temperature starts increasing, and then I can just literally watch the paint dry. So that's where I'm going to be with it. Hopefully that's what we can do before it gets too hot. Fingers crossed we'll get that right, and I'm going to then do the montage and show you this amazing Tycan 4S, which it honestly does look insane. So guys, we're pretty much finishing with the top coat now, which is the Ceramic Pro 9H, which is what we're doing on this car, purely because it is extremely soft paint. It's obviously a very high-end car, very high-end quality paint, and we just need to toughen it up. So Ceramic Pro is the best you can get, and that's why we've gone with that. Now, I am struggling a bit, probably because the heat has changed, obviously, in the climate at the moment. It's quite warm at the minute. I think it's probably 25 degrees. In this booth, it's boiling, to be honest, because it is insulated, so I don't even need the lamps on at the minute to first do the coats. But what I am noticing now, which it's only this time of year you start to see it, I've done the first coat, done second coat, and now we're on with the third and the fourth coats, and it's repelling itself, and it's becoming extremely difficult to apply and extremely difficult to remove. It's leaving like a ghosty haze when we try and remove it, because it's repelling itself basically, and it's kind of fighting its own coating. So the heat lamps are now going to go on. I'm going to sweat my backside off basically because it's boiling. It'll probably be 70-80 degrees in here, but we're going to bake the car. It's going to be baked overnight, and then we're going on with the top coat tomorrow, the glass, the wheels and the other bits. Now, the client has rung me and said that he needs the car back for 3 o'clock tomorrow, which has cut our deadline by a little bit. So what we're actually doing is a bit of a compromise, and we've agreed to basically coat the wheels on the car instead of removing them. It's not a bad thing as such, because these wheels are quite a big fan. I'll try and show you them there. There's not a lot of back space on them, so you don't really see the inner of the wheel itself. So we're going to do those on the car to save a bit of time, because he does need it back for 3 now. And we're also going to do the calipers on the car, but luckily I can spin the wheel and I can get the coating on the fascias and majority of the back of the caliper while I'm actually working on it. We're going to then do the glass, and if I do get time I will give it an interior valet, because that's something we do free. If I'm honest, it's pretty clean inside. If I don't get time to do it, it's not going to be a major problem. The client obviously knows of that and he's happy with that. It's just he's got an urgent matter on that he needs a car back for. So I'm going to come in at 8 tomorrow. We're going to try and save an hour there, and we're going to get the rest of the top coat on this car once it's baked. And again, I'll probably sweat my backside off tomorrow, so if you come into the shop and I stink, it's not normal, it's just seriously hot in here. So get on with that, try and get some more videos, do a montage, check the website, click follow, click like, subscribe, you know it all. Get our channel going, help us obviously promote the YouTube channel, get customers to see the work we do, and maybe one of your friends is going to book in with us because they can see what we can do and what differs with us. So speak to you soon. If you've not seen the interior of these, obviously these new Porsches, honestly, you need to look at them. They are insane. The infotainment system is even on the passenger side, so the passenger can control everything on Apple Play. Well, you've got it all on 2 screens up front. There's like 4 screens in total. This really makes my old Porsche look incredibly boring. So here's a montage, because we're going to get some quick clips of the car itself, show you how incredible it now looks. The paint has come up better than I even expected, because it wasn't in bad condition like I said, but the pop there now is incredible. The purple's come out of the actual black flake. It looks insane. So here's the montage.